call upon the Chairman of the Governors, Mr. Adrian Wild, who will now open today's proceedings.
The Worshipful, the Mayor of Bournemouth, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, parents, friends and families, graduates. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of my fellow governors and college as a whole to welcome you to this, the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic 2013 graduation ceremony. The ceremony is both the celebration and public acknowledgement of the hard work and achievement of our graduates, not only those who have been able to attend today, but also those who are unfortunately absent. Whilst the largest number of our graduates can now call themselves chiropractors, I'm also very pleased that we have graduates in a range of other disciplines, which reflects the wider range of study that the college is now able to provide. This is also a ceremony at which the college is able, via the award of fellowships, to provide some small acknowledgement to those who have provided exceptional service to the chiropractic profession. I'm very pleased to note that we have the award of one such fellowship today. So without further ado, I now declare today's proceedings open.
I call upon the Principal, Professor Haim O'Teal, who will now present his annual report.
Mr. Mayor, Mayoress of Bournemouth, Burness Meadow, honoured guests, ladies, gentlemen, and of course, graduates. It is wonderful to see you all gathered here today to share with us, which is one of the most, if not the most, important day within the yearly academic cycle. And whilst looking at all of you graduates here in front of me, it goes without saying that you all, in future years to come, are very likely to remember this day when we celebrated one of your most significant achievements. Talking about time, today also marks only the second time that I am giving to you my report as principal of the AECC. I must say I am amazed how quickly my first full year serving as principal went by. It is surprising how much intensity and vibrancy an institution like ours can display, and the amount of activity that is going on simultaneously in different places, such as within the AECC itself, or as part of our interactions with various stakeholders from our relevant national and international worlds of professional bodies and organizations, or with our partner, Bournemouth University, and finally within the higher education sector in general. Being principal of the AECC is exciting, and there's nothing else I can imagine that I wouldn't want to be doing now. However, there's one aspect that I found to be lacking from my prior roles, and that is the daily contact with students in either an academic or clinical setting. To be a teacher, a tutor, a mentor can be a truly gratifying vocation, especially when you see the transformation through growth of knowledge, skills, and intellect within an individual, all instrumental to preparing the way to eventual success and hopefully personal happiness and contentment. This is a good time for me to briefly acknowledge two individuals who are both with us today, and whom I regard as some of the few true mentors one comes across within a professional lifetime. And I promise I will come to my report shortly. Our graduation speaker today, Professor David Cassidy, has certainly been one of my mentors. When in my early years as a young chiropractor, I became interested in the more academic and research-related aspects of the profession. And without Professor Cassidy's guiding influence at the time, it is very likely that I would probably not be standing in front of you today. And Danish Dr. Anthony Metcalf, who we will be honoring later this afternoon. A greatly distinguished statesman for the profession, nationally and internationally, and a true and long-term friend of the AECC. Now to my report. This needs to be seen within the context of a time when the UK higher education sector still finds itself within a period which is characterized by significant uncertainty. The student fee reforms introduced by the government a few years ago created a great number of unforeseen scenarios, which have left us all with some challenges yet to be completely overcome. Although this summer, the government's Department for Business, Innovation and Skills has proposed mechanisms by which to regulate and fund independent and private providers of higher education, such as us, these do not yet offer an appropriate or sustainable option for our specific needs. I'm therefore glad to be able to report that we are now very close to be finalizing our new 5-year agreement with Bournemouth University, our partner, something which will provide us with a stable base for future growth and collaboration. As a matter of fact, we are now in our 8th year of partnership with Bournemouth University, and over the course of last year have further expanded our collaborative links with the university by joining up with its performance testing center in assessing players of Bournemouth Football Club, conducting a pilot on interdisciplinary clinical teaching and learning involving Bournemouth University's midwifery teaching team and students. Members of the AECC faculty have joined forces with Bournemouth colleagues on a number of public engagements, events such as Café Scientifique and the Festival of Learning, and a number of joint PhD supervisions and grant applications have progressed throughout the academic year. Finally, the fact that the former principal of the AECC, Dr. Ken Val, has received an honorary doctorate in education from the university just a few weeks ago very positively reflects upon the good relationship between our two institutions. And therefore I think that this would be a good time for me to thank Professor Tim McIntyre-Batty, Deputy Vice Chancellor at Bournemouth University, for his support in being able to join us on the platform today. Throughout the year, AECC staff have been busy representing our institution at a number of important conferences and meetings, of which I want to mention 2 today. In April, we attended at the World Federation of Chiropractic's Silver Anniversary Congress held in Durban, South Africa, where an exceptional academic and social program awaited close to 800 delegates from more than 40 countries. This list also included our AECC student representatives who attended the World Congress of Chiropractic Students held at the same time. It was very gratifying for me to see that AECC's student delegation was the largest one of all of the 22 chiropractic institutions represented. AECC faculty were very busy giving platform presentations, presenting posters, and conducting a number of workshops. Their excellent efforts were duly recognized by winning 3 out of 10 available academic awards for poster presentations. 1 week later, at the prestigious and internationally influential annual scientific meeting of the British Pain Society, AECC faculty received another poster award, 1 out of only 10. I'm delighted with these results, and I think we can feel rightly proud as an institution with the recognition of the quality and the relevance of the work and the research we generate. Talking about research, for those pursuing an academic career, achieving a PhD or a professional doctorate is not only the culmination of many years of blood, sweat, and tears, but is also more and more becoming an absolute expectation. It is therefore with great pride and pleasure that I can announce that this spring, another two of AECC's research students, Dr. Tackle Howling and Dr. Laura Davies, have been successful in the defense of their PhD theses. Both of their studies involve data collection in chiropractic clinics across the country, and these were generously co-funded by the British Chiropractic Association, which is also represented in Strengths Today by their president Matthew Bennett, accompanied by immediate past president Richard Brown and executive director Sue Wakefield, and also Councilmember Tim Hatchell. In the early summer months, we achieved validation and professional accreditation for our postgraduate medical ultrasound master's program for the maximum period of time possible, and were commended on the program by the chair of the professional body. In August, we were inspected for the first time by the Human Tissue Authority, or HTA, in relation to our human anatomy facility. The AECC is still most likely the only teaching institution outside of a medical or a dental school in this country to hold its own license for a human anatomy facility. The HTA concluded that all their standards had been fully met. In addition, the inspectors noted and commented upon a number of examples of good practice during the course of their inspection. I'm extremely thankful to all the members of faculty and academic support staff who are responsible for the above-mentioned subject areas, and especially for their personal contributions and hard work in ensuring that these external accreditation and inspection events achieve these very positive outcomes. This year also saw the inauguration of the British Society for the History of Chiropractic, the brainchild of Dr. Francis Wilson, who together with colleagues at the AECC established this society, which aims to promote the study of the history of chiropractic, to encourage preservation and understanding of our past, and to provide opportunities for collaboration, discussion, and research. The quieter summer months allowed us to carry out a number of physical facility improvements. Our maintenance team has been hard at work renovating and upgrading a number of our technique, seminar, and lecture spaces. Our refectory has been modernized and enlarged, and the library has gained a completely new roof. There are two major and exciting projects we have been working on over the last year, and I feel that both of these have now progressed to a point where I am in a position to report about them. Following in-depth consideration and consultation, the AECC Board of Governors supported the decision to pursue an application to gain our own taught degree awarding powers, or TDAP. Gaining TDAP is crucial in confirming our place in higher education as a recognized provider of high-quality education and clinical training, gaining independence, and last but not least, applying for the University College title as an index of the quality and status of AECC. This application for TDAP is an exciting, if challenging one. It will stretch the institution as never before in being critical about what it does and providing evidence of what it is. However, I'm sure the whole institution, staff and students alike, as well as our alumni and the profession at large, will get behind the AECC and support this application. Succeeding in achieving TDAP will yet be another milestone in the college's history and pivotal for its future. Similarly, the planned purchase of a magnetic resonance imaging or MRI facility which builds on the college's strengths in the areas of diagnostic imaging, is another major project currently underway, which, when completed, will not only strengthen our position as a leader in this field, but also significantly enhance our students' learning experience and our research capabilities. The MRI scanner will be an open and upright unit, and as such will be of particular relevance to our discipline and other musculoskeletal healthcare providers. It will be housed in its own specialized extension to our main clinic, and we are hoping that it will be fully operational by the middle of next year. Although the major share of the activities at the college relates to the chiropractic studies, and most of today's graduates are joining the chiropractic profession, we must certainly recognize the significant growth within our postgraduate department and equally celebrate the contributions and the achievements of our postgraduate students. Many of the almost 60 individuals who are receiving their well-deserved postgraduate awards today have already obtained a high level of professional knowledge and skills before they have joined us. And we very much value the way your experience, your skills, your contributions enrich the academic life at AECC. In my report, I have talked about the development of our institution, of our programs, of our future plans. However, the true reputation of an educational establishment does not depend on the splendor of its facility, nor the overall number of its students, but on the quality of its members and the nature of its contribution to learning. So I'm sure, graduates, that you would want to join me in applauding and thanking our exceptional faculty for the delivery of teaching and learning at the college, and as well our administrative and academic support staff for the continuous support we receive from them on a daily basis. Finally, we would especially like to thank the registry personnel and all those who have made today possible. Of course, we're extremely proud of your achievements, dear graduates, as well. You have also committed yourself to education over these many, many years, investing much time and effort to reach your goal. And talking about investment, I would ask you now to stand up, please, turn around, and offer an extraordinary applause to thank parents, families, partners, and friends that have supported you in so many different ways throughout this journey. Please be seated. There's one final comment in terms of support I would like to make. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the Arthur Schofield Memorial Trust. Arthur Schofield was a Canadian-born chiropractor who lived in England since 1932 and contributed significantly towards expanding and supporting the chiropractic profession in this country. He was instrumental in setting up the trust, which enabled many people of limited means to receive treatment, and then later on has helped to support chiropractic students throughout their studies. To commemorate this important anniversary of the trust, and the fact that today is also Dr. Schofield's birth date, a special Arthur Schofield Memorial Award will be presented later on during the proceedings by his daughter, Mrs. Heather Coppelt. Finally, dear graduates, you're clearly the future. And although Today marks for you the official end of a well-earned and greatly deserved educational achievement, one that allows you to either join or progress in exceptional professions. I expect you to go on learning, to continually improve upon what you can do for your patients, your family, and those close and dear to you. If in the aftermath of the weekend's celebrations you find some quiet moments to reflect, just think about the transformation some of you have gone through whilst you were at the AECC. Your time here has clearly not only been about education, but also about life experience, individual growth, and individual change. Just in the way this personal transformation will never leave you, we will never let you go either. You will always be AECC graduates, and the AECC will always be there for you. Thank you. I, the principal of the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, declare the congregation open for the awards.
I call upon Professor Jenny Bolton, Vice Principal, Postgraduate Studies and Research, who will now present the postgraduate graduates.
Principal, in the name and by the authority of the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, I present to you the following for the award of Master of Science, Advanced Professional Practice, Chiropractic Pediatrics. Harold Hageland, with merit. Heidi Knorr, with merit. Michael James Noon, with distinction. Meta Wongberg Starhag, with merit. For the award of Master of Science, Advanced Professional Practice, Pediatric Musculoskeletal Health, Naomi Dawn Mackay, with distinction. For the award of Postgraduate Certificate, Advanced Professional Practice, Sports and Rehabilitation, Victoria Jane Whitby, with merit. For the award of Master of Science, Advanced Professional Practice, Sports and Rehabilitation, Johanna Schmidt, with merit. For the award of Master of Science in Ultrasound, General and Gynecology, Julian Patelli, with merit. For the award of Master of Science in Ultrasound, General, Abina Leslie Onwuruba. For the award of Master of Science in Ultrasound, Musculoskeletal, Fiona Margaret Jacobs, with distinction. John Lippen with distinction. Ralph Rogers with merit. Carl Vincent with distinction. For the award of Master of Science in Ultrasound, Obstetrics and Gynecology, with Muller Schrobox with merit. Amara Sahel with merit. Graduates who have not attended this ceremony are recognised in absentia.
I call upon Dr. Arvid Torkelson, Vice Principal, Undergraduate Studies and Quality, who will now present the undergraduate graduates.
Principal, in the name and by the authority of the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, I present to you the following for the award of Master of Chiropractic. Katie Louise Acklam, Tessa Charlotte Aitchison with merit. Richard Brian Anthony. Kerstin Lena Mari Asp with merit. Andreas Jakob Leiro Båstad. Amanda Jerusalem Bailey. Sarah Louise Baines with merit. Luca Valabio. Matthew Thomas Bateman with merit. Scott Alexander Benham with distinction. Madelon Katarina Margareta Bredi with merit. Stuart Maxwell Brown. Dino Gorsholo with merit. Els Cornelia Maria Clausen with merit. Penny Jane Clark with merit. Robert James Cooper with merit. Marlene Louise de Jong with distinction. Joshua Michael Railton Dixon. Jens Christian Dölen with merit. Unu Detmer Drent. Lucy Emma Duncalf with merit. Benjamin Matthew Dyer with merit. Lars Morten Eid. Sarah Fagerheim Gilhus with distinction. Thomas Dieter Faulkner with merit. Alexandra Freya with merit. Dane Farrar with merit. Marvi Fjetland. Marcella Fontana. Rebecca Louise Foreman with merit. Anna Fröhlich. Fredrik Fuchs with merit. Einar Kriken Fylling with merit. Christian Gabrielsen with merit. Stefan Dinko Gospodinov with merit. Kate Francis Green with merit. Hampus Faralid Grisel Redeberg. Thomas Grøndal with merit. Chantal Rose Broom with distinction. Osmund Reinhold Honstad with merit. Ket Inger Bjørkamo Hansen with merit. Natasha Louise Harris with distinction. Benjamin Harrison with merit. Samantha Jane Hayes with distinction. Peter Robert Heel. Jonathan Olim Hirtenstein with merit. Raymond Hofstad. Kari Ødegård Hommedal with distinction. Alexander Peter Horn with merit. André Jacobsen with merit. Marita Jakobsen with merit. Dominik Jaskulski with merit. Stian Tidemann Jorsen. Karin Elisabeth Jernås with merit. Matthias Jeschke with distinction. Christopher Ian Jolliffe with distinction. Monica Jørgensen. Martijn Hans Sebastian Kamer with merit. Sven Knippers with merit. Denise Kreisman with merit. Victoria Sara Kuhlen with merit. Martin Kuhn. Kerstin Newton Quispe with merit. Zara Caroline Naima Lagerlöf with distinction. Fabian Lalim with merit. Naomi Claire Lee with merit. Ashley Kate Lay with merit. Zoe Louise Lofthouse with merit. Julia Francesca Lufino with merit. Kristin Moskus. Dean Luke Matthews with merit. James Michael McDermott with merit. Tanya Maria Moons with merit. Rige Ågård Mortensen. Jan Müller with merit. Jake William Neal with merit. Paul Jonas Neumann with merit. Sarah Jennifer Nichols with merit. Jonas Nygård. Henriette Nyqvist with merit. Caroline Hareid Nylund with merit. Elisabeth Ogren. Kara Henny Edith Erika Olofsson with distinction. Christine Overvold Lianes with merit. Eric Marshall Paul. Chitske Andrea Papp with merit. Spiridula Papameditriel with merit. Amy Hilda Pease with distinction. Thomas David Pooley with merit. Bethany Claire Rawlings with distinction. Carly Jane Richardson with merit. Thomas Frederick Richardson with distinction. Marius Riva Eikeland. Benjamin James Roberts with merit. Pascal Sandoze with merit. Arne Boren Sandmel with merit. Catherine Hannah Scorer with merit. Nicole Lisa Scott with merit. Ida Same with merit. Julian Benjamin Zen with merit. Victoria Suzanne Shaw with distinction. Rebecca Ian Shield with merit. Larissa Zirsch. Sigve Finland Skår. Joshua James Smith. Ole Somerset with merit. Ingrid Aasen Sørhaug. Magnus Iversen Stadheim. Marie-Louise Bernadette Helene Stassen. Jan Paul Stöckigt with merit. Dina Sulemani with merit. Katrin Telle with merit. Hanne Kjetlen Temre. Lisa Jane Thomason. Kine Tane Olafsen with merit. Lasse Christian Tichuk with merit. Tine Telvors with merit. Felico Tizo with distinction. Luke Alan Turner with merit. Wilbur Tveit with merit. Ranier Johannes van Alst with merit. Eline Jean van Horp with merit. Ida Britta Wilhelmina Verweist with merit. Ermia Sandberg Nette. Nita Skjølseth Visnes. Hazel Catherine Wag with merit. Per Mats Daniel Mestin with merit. Anna Mary Isabel Wilson with distinction. Amber Wende with merit. Graduates who have not attended this ceremony are recognised in absentia. That concludes the presentation of candidates for their awards.
Call upon Dr. Neil Osborne, Director of Clinic, who will now administer the AECC Chiropractic Oath.
Please refer to the chiropractic oath on the reverse of your pack. Candidates for the Master of Chiropractic, please stand. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I promise before all those here present that I will keep the AECC Chiropractor's Oath. I will hold my teachers in esteem and respect. I will only follow the methods of treatment which I consider will benefit my patients. I will practice my profession without distinction of race, creed, or colour. I will place no consideration above that of the welfare of my patients. I will keep confidential all things revealed to me as a physician. I will abide by and hold sacred both the letter and the spirit of this oath throughout my professional life. Graduates, remain standing. Please turn to face the congregation. Now change your tassel from the right to the left-hand side. Graduates of chiropractic, please be seated.
Professor David Cassidy, our guest speaker, will now deliver the graduation address.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayoress, Chairman Weld, members of the Board of Governors, Deputy Vice Chancellor McIntyre-Batty, Principal Teal, members of the faculty, distinguished guests, proud parents and family members, and especially you, the graduates, I'm very honored to give this address to you today. Congratulations to all the graduates and all those that have supported them during your studies, including your faculty, family, and friends. This day is really special for all of us. Principal Teal, I'm sure, is happy to see another successful group of graduates from this program. Your teachers, I'm sure, are happy, maybe even a little bit surprised to see that you have finally passed all of your exams and graduated. I'm sure your families are very happy and look forward to you supporting yourselves financially now. Yes? Some might even be looking forward to you supporting them in the near future. This day is very special for me too. I bring you greetings from Canada, where I'm a professor, and also now from Denmark, where I spend part of my time. And this day has forced me to really reflect back on my career and think about my life and what pieces of wisdom I could impart on you as you begin this new chapter in your lives. So I began this quest by thinking about my own graduation from the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College some 38 years ago. But unfortunately, I can't remember much about it. In particular, I have no idea who gave the graduation address. And I can't remember any wisdom from it, of course. But you know, actually that takes the pressure off me today, because I'm quite sure it's unlikely you'll remember anything I say today. Which is a good thing, because I can't interfere with the success of your future. I do, however, remember that my father was smiling a lot, and I remember thinking at the time it felt very good to make him proud. It was only a few years later that my mother confessed to me he was smiling because he wouldn't have to support me anymore. But this day belongs to you, the graduates, and I'll try to give you a few pieces of good advice that have come from my 38 years of experience as a clinician, then a scientist, and a professor, even if you soon forget it. My first piece of advice, and if you remember only one piece of advice, I think this is the best, is to choose good mentors. I was fortunate to have Professor William Kirkcaldy-Willis, a Cambridge-trained Scottish orthopedic surgeon, as my first mentor when I started clinical practice in Canada. I was one of the first chiropractors to be appointed to a university hospital, and I learned a lot from Professor Kirkcaldy-Willis, or KW as we used to call him. He was an internationally known surgeon and spine researcher. In fact, we wrote a textbook on managing low back pain together that was a standard textbook in chiropractic colleges and medical schools back in the 1980s. But, you know, he taught me a great deal about orthopedics and patient care. But I think I learned much more from him. He had a great sense of humor. He didn't take himself too seriously. He was a joy to be around. And he had a limitless imagination, which was very inspirational to all the medical and chiropractic residents that he supervised at the Royal University Hospital in Saskatoon, Canada. Your first mentor is very important. Seek him or her out carefully. They will help you get established and set you off on the right direction. Secondly, surround yourself with quality colleagues. I can tell you from my 23 years of clinical practice that it can be isolating at times and sometimes lonely. So it's very important to stay in touch with your fellow graduates. Many of your fellow graduates will be lifelong friends. Make time for them. They are your support network. They'll help you face the challenges of clinical practice and share those experiences, both good and bad, with you. Also develop a good referral network with other health professionals. You can't help every patient, so don't hesitate to ask for help. Be prepared for some disappointments and try to learn from them. Third, remember your responsibility to help patients. Listen and be sympathetic to their concerns. Let them know you care about them and that you're there to help them through their difficulties. Be accessible to them. Be there when they need you. Take time to listen to them. Involve them in shared decision-making. They'll appreciate it, and your clinical results will be much better. Reflect on and remember the oath you have taken today. Fourth, become a mentor. Become a mentor to others as they start their professional careers. It's very important that you share your experience with junior colleagues. I can tell you that giving back to others, junior colleagues, students, is very satisfying. In fact, I learn a lot more from my students and junior colleagues, probably a lot more than I teach them. In fact, today I'm very proud to be on this stage with one of my former students, Professor Amo Teal, your principal. It's very satisfying for me to see his success and the success of this program and the success of his students. Fifth, be challenged in life. Break through barriers. Try new things. It's important to set your own goals. What keeps you interested? What challenges you? Don't be a passive participant in life. Make things happen. Keep learning and become lifelong learners. It's never too late to learn new things. Clinical practice is challenging, and keeping up with advancements in healthcare is important for your professional and personal development. You'll never know everything, but make an effort to remain up to date. Thinking about my own career, I practiced as a chiropractor for more than 20 years. Then I trained as a pathologist. After a short career in pathology, I completed a doctoral degree in public health, which is what I do now. As I reflect back on this, as far as I can tell, my chiropractic patients were much more satisfied with my care than my pathology patients. And of course, we all know it's very difficult to satisfy the public. So a career in public health is not at all satisfying at times. So I can tell you that your patients will appreciate you a lot, and that that's it's something to cherish. Finally, as you embark on your new professional journey, remember to stay involved with the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, your home faculty. Become an active alumni member. Your profession is only as strong as its training program. Support the college as much as you can. Be involved and give back. You will be a success because of the dedication of your teachers and the quality of this education program. In fact, maybe now we should acknowledge the teachers and the faculty of the Anglo-European Chiropractic College, and I'd appreciate it if we could all give them a round of applause. Now I'll close by saying, graduates, the world is before you. Go out and make your mark. Thank you and congratulations on this milestone occasion. Thank you.
Dr. David Newell will now give the vote of thanks to Professor Cassidy.
For our students embarking on their career, the long journey through college to qualification as a clinician is over. During this journey and having taught aspects of clinical research to AECC's graduating students, I know that your name, David, has popped up innumerable times during the lectures and tutorials, and therefore it is a great honour to have you here today and for our students to put face to the often faceless names they have seen in research papers, and if nothing else, to provide strong evidence that researchers are indeed human too and can tell good jokes. Your words are enlightening and inspiring, as has your long experience and contribution to the chiropractic profession and the wider world of scholarly research and teaching. So on behalf of the AECC and our graduates this year, I would like to thank you, David, for flying all the way from Denmark and Canada to give our graduation speech. It is sincerely appreciated by us all. Thank you.
Mayoress, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, I call upon Dr. Neil Osborne to give the citation for the Award of Fellowship of the AECC to Dr. Anthony Martin Metcalf.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Anthony Metcalf. Dr. Metcalf graduated in 1976 from AECC and soon became very active within the profession. As well as founding one of the UK's most established successful chiropractic clinics in Twickenham, he's dedicated his career to the profession and to AECC, and it is in this regard that the Fellowship Award is made. Over a career spanning 37 years, Tony has been President of the British Chiropractic Association from 2007 to 2009, President of the European Chiropractors Union from 1993 to 1998, and he was the 7th President of the World Federation of Chiropractic from 2004 to 2006. During his WFC presidency, he oversaw the launch of the World Health Organization guidelines on basic training and safety in chiropractic. Tony was also one of the key individuals involved in passing the legislation for chiropractors in the UK. As a member of the Chiropractic Registration Steering Group, he was instrumental in the establishment of the King's Fund Working Party and subsequent passing of the Chiropractors Act in 1994. He served as an inaugural member of the General Chiropractic Council. Tony also served, in his spare time, as Chairman of the Board of Governors for AECC for 8 years, from 1998 to 2006. This is in a period that saw significant growth and development at AECC. Latterly, Tony's chaired the UK Committee delegation to the European Standards Organisation, the technical committee of which was responsible for producing the first ever European standard for a healthcare profession. Tony's married to Julia, and he has 4 children. His son, Nick, is also a graduate of AECC and works as a chiropractor, as does Tony's brother, his sister-in-law, and another mother-in-law. Tony's a keen sportsman. He remains fit, playing squash and particularly golf. He's also an avid rugby fan and makes the most of his close proximity to Twickenham, the home of the English rugby. For many years, he's been working in charitable work, a trait that mirrors its selfless devotion that he has given to the chiropractic profession. I had the pleasure of working for Tony for several years before joining AECC, and I learned many things from him. He was one of my mentors, including the implications of corporate entertainment at Twickenham Rugby Stadium. I have great pleasure in presenting Dr. Anthony Metcalfe for the award of Honorary Fellowship of AECC.
Anthony Metcalfe will now deliver his response.
Mr. Mayor, Mayoress, Principal, honoured guests, governors, staff, friends and families, without whom the day wouldn't take place, graduates. Firstly, I want to express my gratitude to the Principal and to the Board of AECC for offering me this fellowship. I can't begin to tell you how delighted I was to receive Dr. Teal's letter in July, inviting me to accept this honour, as I understand very few have been awarded since its inception in 1991. I'm a graduate of AECC from 1976. And I can see from the faces in front of me, you're thinking that most of you were in the twinkle in your parents' eyes at that time. I am one of those parents whose son has come through AECC, and I smiled when he graduated. He now comes and works with me, or I work for him, I'm not quite certain which. When I graduated, there were only about 100 chiropractors in the UK, and a lot less in the other European countries. We now have almost 3,000 in the UK, with our own Act of Parliament and the beginnings of inclusion in our National Health Service. Most of you, like I did 37 years ago, will have developed a real desire to help those who come to see you. The AECC has a special place in my heart, as I'm sure it does in yours, for giving me the opportunity of an immensely satisfying life. My love of the profession was such that I decided very early on that work needed doing to ensure there were enough chiropractors and that there should be good access to our services. Within my first year, I was elected to one of the boards of AECC, which at that time was struggling financially and in terms of recruiting students. The premises were small and divided by the road that ran between the two buildings. The European Chiropractors Union had come to the assistance of the fledgling college and has helped it to settle in its current magnificent surroundings. Since those early days, I've had the privilege of being involved in the process which led to the Act of Parliament in 1994. I didn't do it on my own, there were a lot of other people doing the work. I've witnessed the growth of our profession from 100 chiropractors to almost 300. I've been involved with the AECC for many years and have seen its accreditation move from CNAA through Portsmouth and now to Bournemouth University. I'm certain that in time, as the college grows and becomes a larger multi-technic institution, it will achieve the degree granting right of its own. My life in this profession has seen me involved with my national association, the European Chiropractors Union and the World Federation. I can truly say that my profession has been my hobby, and it's only now that I'm trying to find time to play a little golf. I want to congratulate the graduates and their families. All those receiving degrees have achieved something quite profound. Although it may not seem so at the moment, what you've endured and accomplished is of major significance. But if I remember my own feelings correctly, after my last exam, I simply felt enormous relief and a keen, unquenchable desire to party. I imagine most of you feel that way as well, so I'll keep this brief. When I was told that I should deliver a few inspiring words at this congregation, I thought, my God, what will I say? I thought I had 4 months in which to think about it and prepare this speech. No problem. Immediately, I fell victim to Gandhi's wonderful insight. There is more to life than increasing its speed. So as I did in my student days, I embraced 2 two of my favourite adages. Why do today what you can put off until tomorrow? And with a slight modification, we'll get to that bridge when we have to cross it. Or as the Irish proverb says, when God made time, he made plenty of it. Everything I've done in my life has been a collaboration for which all those other participants in my life, in particular my wife and 4 children, deserve equal recognition. What a gift. I've been able to combine the passions of a vocation with the responsibilities of a vocation. I think we are truly blessed when we are able to blur the lines between work and play, when we're able to do what we love and love what we do, and to look back with satisfaction that you have given back to the profession in order to gain more. May you find this blessing, this joy in your own lives. Completing your degree is not an end to something, but rather the beginning. As much as this honorary fellowship recognises my past contribution, it gives me the impetus to do more for the profession. Let me leave you with this one final thought. It is said that the human imagination is only capable of conceiving the possible. I believe it to be infinite. May I wish you all the fun and enjoyment I have had by being a part of this wonderful profession. Thank you very much.
Dr. Hugh Hurst, President of the AECC Graduate Association, will now announce the names of the candidates who have been selected for student prizes, and the Worshipful, the Mayor of Bournemouth, Councillor Dr. Rodney Cooper, will present the prizes.
Could I start by asking Mrs. Heather Cobble to come to the stage to present the first prize? The Arthur Schofield Memorial Award, the Bachelor of Science Honours, Human Science, Year 2. Donated by the Arthur Schofield Memorial Trust, the student with the best profile of marks, and that goes to Sabrina Giles. Outstanding Academic Student, Master of Chiropractic Year 3, donated by the British Chiropractic Association to the student with the best profile of marks, and that goes to Federico Tiso. Best Project for Master of Chiropractic Year 3, donated by the European Chiropractors Union to the student with the best project, as decided by the project subcommittee, Hans Christian Slimming Korschness in absentia. The College of Chiropractors Project Award, Master of Chiropractic Year 3, donated by the College of Chiropractors as decided by the project subcommittee, and that goes to Catherine Hannah Scorer. The Best All-Round Student, awarded by the college to the student who has contributed the most in non-academic terms of the college, his or her year, and the course. And that goes to Hazel Catherine Rann. The Flavio Grillo Prize for Best Clinical Proficiency Performance, awarded to the student whose performance exemplifies those characteristics identified with good clinical practice. And once again, it's Federico. the Rehabilitation Award, donated by W.R. Barclay Insurance Europe Limited, who are the insurers to the British Chiropractic Association, to the student who has made an outstanding contribution to the advancement or the implementation within the field of musculoskeletal rehabilitation. And this goes to Dino Busciulo. The Outstanding Academic Student Award, Master of Chiropractic in the final year, donated by W.R. Barclay Insurance Europe Limited, insurers to the BCA, and to the student with the best profile of marks at the end of the final year, Kari Odegaard Bomdal. Community Outreach Education Award, awarded to the student who has contributed the most to the Community Outreach Programme, and this goes to Edward Hall O'Gorman in absentia. And finally, we have the Graham Hill Award, donated by the AECC in memory of Dr. Graham Hill, the student with the best academic performance in achieving the postgraduate Master of Science degree. And this goes to Carl Vincent.
Go, Carl.
Principal will now introduce the valedictorian for 2013.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for the class of 2013, Kari Odegaard Bomdal.
Mr. Mayor, Mayoress, Professor Cassidy, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow graduates. It is a great honour and quite surreal to stand here today on behalf of our amazing year, to give thanks and reminisce on our experiences through our 4 or 5 years here. First of all, it's exciting to see everybody again, although it will send our thoughts to those of us who are in other parts of the world right now and couldn't be here with us. And yeah, I'm personally thinking of Laura, who's in Peru. When thinking about how to start the speech, I looked at some thoughts I wrote down after I left Bournemouth. At that time, I was full of emotion from leaving a place that had been home for 5 years. And I had used many lofty words, but reading them again, I thought that perhaps it was better not to use them for this speech. I also tried to look for funny quotes, but I felt none of them were really me, since I'm mainly funny when I fall into a hole in the pavement or walk into a lamppost. So I will start with remembering my first day at the AECC. Walking with my housemate from 16 Wolverton Road, all slightly nervous. We had already walked the road several days in advance to see how long it took to walk to school so we wouldn't be late. We were 15 minutes early, which seemed to be the case for the whole class, although this wasn't the case for very long to our tutor's frustration. We were all gathered in DP with all the unfamiliar faces, which soon grew to be familiar, and then, in danger of using a cliché, family and friends for the next 5 years. There might have been different things which brought each of us here. Some have stories of how chiropractic changed their lives, and thus wanted to give others that experience. Others have been into sports their whole lives, and found chiropractic a great way of using their interest. And for me personally, who had no experience of chiropractic, other than hating the cavitation sound when accompanying my mother to the chiropractor when I was 10, just thought it sounded enthralling to be able to help people with my hands with the knowledge I'd acquired through the studies. Ultimately, I think we all started because we wanted to do something good in other people's lives. No matter how we were introduced to chiropractic and the AECC, we have all been moulded here. We have shared 4 or 5 of our lives and pulled each other through. I could spend hours telling about episodes and people who have shaped these years, but we all know which stories are important to us. I don't think we knew what we let ourselves in for, the academic, physical and emotional demands. We're all standing here today as results of the journey we embarked on back then. We are all the sum of our experiences, good and bad. And although I hardly dared to think of this day until we were well into clinic, we've all done it and should be proud of our achievements. And looking around us today, we can't forget we didn't get here by ourselves. We have to thank all those who are around us and celebrating with us. On behalf of the graduating class of 2013, I want to thank our families, parents, partners and children who have supported us. Thank you to all the tutors who have led us on the journey to become chiropractors. You have patiently guided us and taught us, been there at 8 o'clock in the morning to help us with the adjusted technique, answered the silliest questions and challenged us. Thank you for equipping us to becoming good chiropractors. I also want to thank all other staff at the AECC. Thank you for your smiles when meeting you in the corridors or offices or in the kitchen, and for making the AECC run smoothly. In clinic, the receptionists were an important part of our day, both in structuring our day, but also in encouraging us and giving us kind words and smiles. Thank you. We are here to celebrate our accomplishments, and although this is the end of one journey, we have just embarked on another adventure as chiropractors. We actually have the opportunity to make a difference in patients' lives, which is a huge privilege and responsibility. A responsibility to drive chiropractic forwards for the benefits of these patients through our own interest, research and continued professional development. I found a quote by Ari Plankovici, which I think fits, especially since we're chiropractors and our learning never ends. Graduation is only a concept. In real life, every day you graduate. Graduation is a process that goes on until the last day of your life. If you can grasp that, you'll make a difference. So thank you, class of 2013. And although this speech is also about saying goodbye, I choose to say, see you again. And I'm already looking forward to meeting you at seminars and reunions, and to hear your stories.
The Chairman of the AECC Board will now close the proceedings.
I said at the start of these proceedings that this ceremony was a celebration and public acknowledgement of the hard work and achievement of our 2013 graduates. And I hope as you've watched and applauded throughout the afternoon, as you've listened to the various speeches, including that of course of the one we've just heard from Carrie, that you've come to appreciate the extent of the commitment, hard work and determination that our graduates have shown. I trust that you, as parents, friends and families, are truly proud of them. It now falls to me to close these proceedings. Those of you who are here who have an interest in academic dress will realise that this rather fetching pink hood with white fur, I didn't graduate from the AECC, and today's programme confirms that I'm not a chiropractor. So what can I tell you? What advice can I give you? Unlike Professor Cassidy, I don't have years of experience in the field. but what I do have is experience in another professional field. So as one professional to another, I offer you 3 pieces of advice. Firstly, I would urge that you support each other and keep in contact with one another. Take a look around you at your fellow graduates. You each share a unique bond. You've worked, learned and studied together. During that time, I'm sure you've helped each other, providing each other with advice and support, sharing your experiences and probably on some occasions your lecture notes, and pushing each other on to achieve as much as you can. I believe you should continue that mutual support to one another. Don't be lonely in your professional life. Consult with your peers and continue to celebrate each other's success. Secondly, I believe you should be open-minded, seek to stretch yourself and keep learning and developing. This may sound surprising after all. You've just graduated after a period of intense study. Surely now is the time to reap your rewards. However, my experience is that you've really only just started your learning process. The word graduation comes from the Latin for step, and your graduation is just the first step onto a pathway for what I hope will be a career filled with learning and continued development. Of course, as you're working, you'll be learning different things from that you've just been studying in the classrooms and teaching clinics. In your first few years, you'll be learning how to apply your knowledge and learning how to run and, I hope, manage a successful clinic. But as the years pass, it's important that you also keep abreast of developments in your chosen profession. For example, new techniques and new method of working, so that you're always offering the best that you possibly can. And finally, my third piece of advice is to be true to yourself and your chosen profession. During our working lives, we'll all come under a variety of pressures. Most developed countries recently have experienced some economic hardship, and for some countries that continues. So you might come under financial pressure in the next few years, or possibly in the future when the economic cycle again downturns. As a working professional, you'll undoubtedly face some time pressure, needing to balance your work commitments with the need to continue your learning and professional development, needing to balance your work commitments with your commitments to your families. However, despite all the pressures that you'll face, you need to ensure that you always provide the right advice and comply with your professional obligations. At the AECC, we teach a wide range of topics and techniques, but fundamental to everything that we teach is our belief that all our learning should be based on evidence, so that the effectiveness of whatever we're teaching is assured. I believe you need to approach your career with a similar commitment to integrity and keep the oath that you've just pledged. So when the time comes to look back on your career, you can do so with pride in your actions as well as pride in your achievements. So I think I've tried your patience long enough, and will end with once again congratulating you on behalf of myself, my fellow governors and the college as a whole. We are proud of you. We thank you for your achievements and the reputation that you bring to the college.
I would ask that all guests remain in their seats until the platform party, faculty and college guests have left, and then you should follow them to the pavilion ballroom where refreshments will be served. Would all graduates remain seated for the year photograph to be taken? And that concludes, and so Dr. Francis Wilson will now lead the platform party off the stage. Thank you.